Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and today we're going to dive into some Blue Underground 4K horror movies. Hey everyone, so thanks for coming back to the channel today. In today's review, we're going to talk about Blue Underground and their recent 4K releases. We've got The New York Ripper from Lucio Fulci and The House by the Cemetery, also by Lucio Fulci. So two of his better known movies, and two movies that came out back to back, 1981 and 1982. Both pretty controversial, maybe none more than The New York Ripper, but we're going to dive into these 4K releases. I'll talk about the video, the audio, packaging, and special features, and give you an overall recommendation on whether these are worth picking up or not. So with that being said, let's jump right into the picture review. The New York Ripper I'll do first. This was shot in 35mm and was actually finished in 4K back in 2019 for the Blue Underground Blu-ray release. Actually, that may have come out in 2018. It was somewhere at the beginning of that year. And then when the 4K format, obviously got ahead of steam here, they went ahead and redid the transfer to 4K 16-bit transfer from the original 35mm to perf, camera negative, Dolby Vision HDR, and Dolby Atmos. So, I mean, this movie looks absolutely incredible. Like, it almost has me asking, at a certain point with these horror movies, especially these like grittier, Italian, lower budget, almost like B movies. Not that Lucio Fulci stuff is B movie, but it's certainly not mainstream. You kind of expect like a gritty picture, and these are so clean. I was almost asking myself at times, like, are these 4Ks too good? But Blue Underground continues to impress me. This transfer is impeccable. The grain structure is excellent. The HDR colors pop where they need to. They balance well where they need to. Black levels are nice and dark. Brightness is on point. Everything looks great. Like, I can't say enough good things. I actually think The New York Ripper looks better than Zombie or Maniac, which are the other two movies that I reviewed on 4K from Blue Underground. So far, this is my favorite of the four. It looks absolutely fantastic. Their restoration team is incredible. Whoever they have over there should be hired at Warner Brothers, at Paramount, at Disney, at Fox, which is obviously Disney now, Lionsgate, like you name it, this person or this team should be doing all of those, because they've taken what I'm sure is not a pristine source and done an absolutely incredible job on the picture. Now, House by the Cemetery, it's got the same treatment. 35mm scan, 4K 16-bit, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, and again, looks incredible. Now, I'd put this probably in, I'd say, third place behind Zombie and New York Ripper. Maniac is going to come in last only because it's a 16mm and it really intentionally looks rougher. That 4K is still incredible. But, if we're talking just strictly picture quality, House by the Cemetery is pretty good. It's another great transfer by Blue Underground. Like, I can't say enough good things. Like, I don't know what to say in these reviews because the HDR is awesome, the grain structure is awesome, detail is awesome. Everything about these is absolutely borderline pristine. Like, these are this shocks me because Blue Underground is a small company, a very small team that is working on, lesser known horror movies. This is not Scream Factory or Arrow Video or Criterion. This is Blue Underground with a very small team, and so far the four releases they've put out are four of the best 4K releases that I have seen to date. They're doing that good a job. It is absolutely incredible work, especially coming from such a small business and a small team. Now, that comes with a price point. Obviously, these are both pretty pricey. They're like $35-40. So you have to understand that when you go to buy them, you're paying a premium because you're paying for a small business to do this work, which is incredible work. Now, both the Atmos tracks on this are very good. The Italian composers that worked on both of these, absolutely incredible scores. The New York Ripper has this really nice, like, 80s New York City jazz vibe to it. The score on that one is awesome. The House by the Cemetery, also very cool. It's definitely got that haunted house old New England vibe. I really, the House by the Cemetery is cool because they shot this like probably half an hour from where I live. It's a New England haunted house story. It was shot in Concord, Mass, which is, you know, fairly close to me. It's not like right next door, but I could get there in a half an hour or so. So that's like really cool. I've got kind of a connection. I could go visit where they shot this movie. And New York Ripper is an absolutely excellent representation of 80s New York City. Now, outside of the Atmos track on these, House by the Cemetery, so these are, I should mention this, these are English Dolby Atmos tracks, and these movies are dubbed. So if you wouldn't know any better, the dubbing is pretty good. You'd almost think like, oh, maybe my sound's just off or something, but know that these are native Italian movies. But most people do watch them with the dub. That's kind of, we do the same thing with spaghetti westerns that we do with, you know, Italian horror movies. We watch them with the dub, and that's generally accepted. Whereas for some other foreign movies, foreign language films, you know, you'd probably want to watch them in your native language. But for whatever reason, these ones have always been dubbed, and that's how people watch them. So you've got English Dolby Atmos. You also have English 5.1 DTS HD. You've got an English Mono 1.0 DTS HD. And then you do have the Italian 1.0 DTS HD if you want it. It has French, Spanish, and English subtitles for any of the Italian audio. So they both feature all of the same things, although on the New York Ripper, you're getting the English Dolby Atmos 5.1, English and Italian 1.0, but you also add a French and a Spanish mono Dolby digital track, which is interesting, and then those same subtitles, French, English, Spanish. So they're both great. The Atmos tracks are great because of the score. Neither one of these have like a whole lot going on. The House by the Cemetery definitely has more going on with the height effects, surround effects than New York Ripper. This is much more of a slasher, a pretty standard slasher. The score is the highlight versus some of the things that are actually happening in this movie. Really, the Atmos track helps out a lot. And I did like the Atmos track versus the other options, although your 5.1 DTS HD or even your mono track, if you want to try it, are both very good contenders, but I really like what they did with the Atmos here. I have no complaints. So now packaging, both of these were previously available as limited edition 3-disc sets, and this was the same that happened with Maniac and Zombie. The Blu-rays that were put out were 4K restorations. They had a CD of the soundtrack, they had the Blu-ray, and they had an additional Blu-ray or DVD for special features. Some of them had a DVD, some had a Blu-ray. Now, what these ones have is they've got the 4K disc and a Blu-ray disc with special features in the movie, but they don't have that additional soundtrack. So it's something to consider as you're upgrading. Those other special editions also had lenticular slipcovers, whereas these are just standard slipcovers. So, you know, for the collectors out there, you know, are these worth upgrading to 4K? Absolutely. The picture is magnificent, but you may not want to get rid of your limited editions because of the cool packaging, the extra bonus features with that CD soundtrack. Some of that stuff may, you know, you may keep that, but what you could always do is possibly find somebody, you know, just selling a 4K disc and put it into your existing Blu-ray packaging or something like that. People get creative with this stuff. We're all collectors. We want to have the best packaging and special features and the ultimate edition. And the ultimate edition of both these movies would really be like, it would really be the 4K discs with the Blu-ray discs and that CD. That would be like the ultimate edition, but we're not getting that here. The CD is missing. Now, they're both loaded with special features and commentaries, most of which are on the Blu-ray discs. The only things on the 4K discs are audio commentaries and then the theatrical trailer. So nothing else on the 4K disc for extras. Everything else on the Blu-ray and all of those extras are ported over from the existing special edition Blu-rays. So your real upgrade here is the Dolby Atmos, the Dolby Vision HDR, and that 4K resolution. And I know it's a hard sell for $30, $35, but this is a very niche market. Like, these don't appeal to everybody. So I think they kind of expect you'll pay $30, $35 to get that best version. If you're a horror freak, if you like Italian horror, Lucio Fulci, you want the best version of the movie, these are incredible. And honestly, the New York Ripper could be considered a reference quality 4K disc. The restoration is that good. And I would put any of the four from Blue Underground, Zombie, Maniac, House by the Cemetery, and New York Ripper, I'd put any of those four up against the heavyweights like The Shining, 2001: A Space Odyssey, any of those ones that have absolutely blown me away, Jaws even, and these stand head to head with those movies. A super great job done by Blue Underground and their small team on all of these releases. I can't say enough good things. So I will leave a link in the description to both of these. Purchase on Amazon, that's one place you can get them. You can also check out like Diabolic DVD and a couple other retailers outside. Bull Moose is carrying these, I'm sure. You know, some of the other retailers, you're probably not going to find these at Walmart or Target. I mean, the New York Ripper, if you live in the UK, according to Wikipedia, you guys have never even had an uncensored version of this movie. The UK censor board won't allow it. Even the Blu-ray release in 2011 was censored. So, like, it's a highly controversial movie. You're not going to find it on the shelf at a Target, a Walmart, even a Best Buy. You're going to have to buy it online. I would highly recommend both of these. It just comes down to your preferences on genre, what you like for a movie, and what your budget is, because it's going to run you 60, 70 bucks to upgrade both of these. And I know that's pricey, believe me, but I think it is worth it because I am a horror fan, a huge horror fan. I love horror movies. That's my favorite genre. And so for me, these are like crown jewels to get these 4K B Italian cult horror movies. It just doesn't get better than that as a collector, a 4K enthusiast, and a lover of physical media. So huge props to Blue Underground on everything they've done, and I fully support them. If you don't know about Blue Underground, go watch my Spotlight series video on them. I've been doing a Spotlight series on different boutique Blu-ray distributors and, you know, studios. Blue Underground was one of the first that I covered, so check that playlist out on my channel. You can learn more about them, but definitely go check them out, give them a try. And if you're looking for reference quality 4K horror movies, you can't beat these two. Absolutely incredible. Solid 5 out of 5 all around. I can't say enough good things. I really appreciate all of you watching. I know these horror reviews, especially the cult, you know, B-movie stuff, it's not for everybody, but it's really important as a physical media community that we understand how important it is that these companies like this still exist and the work they're doing, and we support that. Whether you're going to buy them or not, watching this video and sharing it, that helps support them even if you don't make the purchase. So I just huge props to them and everything they've done. They're a great company, and I hope you guys do support them with a purchase if you can. And if you're a horror fan, you won't be disappointed. So thanks for watching this. Make sure you're subscribed and like this video. Turn those notifications on, that way you'll know when new videos go live. Follow me on Instagram. I'm currently running a giveaway over on Instagram. And make sure you check my YouTube community post page because I'm posting Blu-ray deals there. I post a giveaway there. Good place to get in contact with me if you don't have social media. I post in both places so that everyone can get a look at it. But other than that, I just appreciate you guys all watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'll talk to you very soon.